Just a quick summary. This is not out of my own handbook. I stole this from Brendan from Low File Trails. I think I did. All right. So some skills needed to be an effective trails guide. And this applies to wherever you are in the world. Wherever you're in the South America, in the Amazon, you're running around in North America with the bears and all that shit. Some hard skills, and hard skills are quantifiable. These are things that you can be tested on and objectively kind of observed to be doing. Making fires, locating and collecting water, where you do that. Campsite selection, theoretical knowledge, which you learn, you write little tests. Lions do this. You guys had it. I must stand and wave my hands around like an idiot when the lion charges me. That's theory. Practical is totally different experience. And then your shooting and your tracking. Those can be quantified. But then your soft skills are much more important, your personal and social relationships. And that is important, your ability to communicate with people and to get them to trust you so that they will follow you and obviously project a sense of confidence and that you know what you're doing. Your intuition, which is a soft skill, it's more of your feminine skills, the ability to know, if the little voice in your head is telling you something, maybe that you should listen to that voice, And often it's right. And if you start to feel uncertain and something in the back of your mind, stop, reassess, look around, think. And sometimes we push it aside and it's dangerous. I know, I don't have to bring up Mark, but sometimes you don't, and the mistakes happen if you slip in because you're preoccupied. And your attitude and approach to nature, your philosophy and your experience. And this is important, as I mentioned about the rifle. If your attitude is, I'm going to have my rifle, it makes me a superhero, I'm a big deal. You started off wrong. Okay? All right? You need to have an attitude that is soft and a bit more, inclusive and have empathy towards the animals you're with. Because we are putting ourselves into their environment and potentially endangering them by carrying that weapon. Okay? Because our behavior results in their reaction to us, therefore, and we have the ability to shoot them. It's just, you have to be aware of that. And your personal philosophy and experience. And the more experience you have, these subtle things start to happen naturally. Okay, and some people are more open to it than others, just depends. And having, like I said, a humble and soft temperament is very important. You might be the best in your field, but it doesn't mean you have to, that shouldn't override your humility. And then your spirit of place, and this depends on who you are. Okay, situational awareness I've discussed, which is the ability to absorb what's happening, it's almost like meditation, because you have to be focused in the present. It's like being a Buddhist. I don't know. I've never been a Buddhist, but it's sort of the idea, and I have it in my mind. And then your relationship with all components in the ecosystem, and it can be also driven by maybe your religious beliefs, or it could be just driven by your sense of who you are and your reverence maybe for the wild environment. It just depends. It's up to you to figure that one out. And you might be vocal about it, or you might have it privately. Okay. And if you combine all these things over time, and you can develop them, Maybe you don't like sleeping on a hard floor in the bush, but maybe the more you do it, you will. No, never going to happen. Briefly, comfort zones and personal space. I think most of us in this room understand this to less and greater degrees. I'm sure you've met people that kind of get into your space and they don't respect that, and you kind of want to back away and all that type of stuff. And then, it depends who they are, Some people you like those, some people you don't like. When I lived in London, I was happy with people squashed up against me breathing on my neck because I was stuck in a tube. I just had to live with it. Now I live in the bush. This is even too close sometimes. You can hear me. Quite nice to shout at people from across the river. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, great, fine. Walk away, fine. But animals also have these magical lines around them. Also, I've got Americans. This is going to be beautiful. So, you will not hear any of us say to you what distance is safe. I'll never say to you, a lion at 50 meters is safe. An elephant at 225 meters is safe. There's no definition of where safe is. Okay? It's up to the environment, it's up to the individual, it's up to the animal, it's up to the composition of the group, it's up to the situation, it's up to the climate, it's up to the wind direction, it's up to the point of safety. There's all these factors that determine where this safe distance is. So we'll just go through them. So your comfort zone, your green zone, is where an animal like an impala is unaware of your presence, or even if it is aware of your presence, continues to do what it was doing. Impala is eating, sees you, carries on eating, not phased, ignores you. You're out of its sense of danger, so it completely ignores you. Then you get the alert zone, and this is where that impala suddenly becomes aware that you're a little bit too close, its head comes up, it turns to face the danger, and it you know, it puts its ears at you and it looks at you with its eyes. And this animal's alert. If you're on foot and you back away, the animal might just calm down and carry on doing what it was doing. Then you get into what you call your warning zone. And this is where, like, I've used an impala will alarm call, or a lion will growl at you, or an elephant will raise his head, or whatever the case may be. A porcupine might shake his claws or something, stamp his feet. And this is basically the animal warning you, you're a bit too close, I'm not comfortable, as well as potentially warning other species around that there's a danger. All right. And then you can get into what they call the critical zone, the danger zone, the kill zone, the death zone. I don't know how you want to dramatize it in your mind. And this is where your prey species choose flight straight away. Come around a bush, there's a wildebeest, doesn't like it, runs away. Now you come around a bush, there's a lion, the lion says you're too close, the lion charges you. That doesn't mean he's attacking you, he's charging you. Because he's made a decision to use an aggressive response to you being too close. And as I mentioned, there's no defined distance. And also, it's like life, it's not fair. You don't go through every time you see an elephant, you don't go through comfort zone, alert zone, warning zone, critical zone. You can come around a corner and you're in the critical zone and that elephant is charging you. And you need to deal with that situation as best as you can. And hopefully it's not fatal. Sometimes it can be for you or it.